Picture the delivery room. The lights are blinding, the air is freezing, and the noise is overwhelming as your baby takes their very first breath. Then, a familiar voice cuts through the chaos, speaking their name, and immediately the baby settles. We tend to assume a baby's senses switch on at birth, like a machine booting up for the first time. But how can a sound be brand new to the world, yet somehow feel familiar? This recognition implies that your baby was never waiting in a blank, silent void. For months, they had been actively listening to the world outside. To find the source of that familiarity, we have to look at the start of the third trimester. This is when the tiny structures of the inner ear finish forming and the nerves connect, allowing a fetus to hear for the first time. The womb is a busy, rhythmic place, filled with the steady drum of a heartbeat, the rush of blood, and the constant gurgle of digestion. Of every sound in that world, the mother's voice arrives the clearest. When you speak, the vibration travels through your own bones and tissue, vibrating inward toward the baby. This is bone conduction, and it carries your voice through the amniotic fluid. While the outside world sounds muffled, like a conversation heard through a wall, the mother's voice arrives from the inside. It is the warmest, most constant soundtrack of their entire existence. Proving a 2-day-old infant actually remembers that sound is a challenge, mostly because you cannot exactly interview a newborn. In 1980, researchers Anthony DeCasper and William Pfeiffer gave babies a special pacifier wired to detect sucking rhythms. If a baby sucked in one pattern, they heard their mother's voice. A different pattern triggered a stranger. The newborns adjusted their behavior almost immediately. They changed their sucking patterns to bring their mother's voice back, showing a clear preference. A second experiment tested if babies remember linguistic rhythm. Pregnant women read Dr. Seuss aloud twice a day for their final 6 weeks of pregnancy, letting the baby hear the same rolling, bouncing patterns over and over. After birth, those same babies used the sucking method to choose The Cat in the Hat over a different story with a different rhythm. A 2-day-old baby is an active, opinionated listener. They are capable of recognizing and working for the specific sounds they grew up with. This prenatal learning reaches down to the melody of language itself. Researchers recorded the cries of newborns from single-language French and German homes to see if their mother tongue left a mark. The results were unmistakable. The French babies cried with a rising melody, lifting the pitch toward the end. The German babies did the opposite. Their cries peaked early and trailed downward. These infants were already crying in the distinct accents of their parents' languages. This tuning applies to individual vowels and even scent. By the third trimester, a baby is learning the smell of the amniotic fluid around them, a scent map they will use to find their mother's chest just hours after birth. Long before they see the world, infants arrive with a multi-dimensional sensory blueprint of the person they belong to. This science explains why a fussy newborn calms when they hear a vacuum, the whir of a fan, or standard white noise. To a baby, silence can feel strange and exposed. When you shush them loudly, you are recreating the constant roar of the womb, giving them back a sound they have known their entire life. These prenatal memories provide the foundation for speech. By soaking up the rhythm and vowels of your voice in the dark, the brain arrives already tuned to the language it expects to learn. Every word spoken and every story read during pregnancy was a thread in an ongoing relationship. The first time you hold your baby is a physical reunion. They are coming home to someone they already know.